Maya, please stop trying to eat the microphone. Let go. Let go of the microphone. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Out Cosmic podcast. My name is Christine the ET contactee and channel. It has been a while since I came on here and filmed a podcast episode. Maya's trying to take the mic out of my hand. As you can tell, I have been very busy. I have a 2-year-old and now an 8-month-old who is constantly on the move. And so my sincerest apologies for not keeping up with the podcast as I create and build something new and exciting. Excuse me while I wipe the spit off the microphone from Maya. Okay, anyway, this podcast is for those who believe in the strange and esoteric, for those who need community or validation that they are not crazy and that they are living a normal life. It is just becoming more and more strange out here, guys. How is your awakening going? How are you doing? Let's check in. This year of the fire horse has been absolutely nuts. For those who don't know, it is the year of the fire horse. There's a lot of fast moving energy, and this is in Chinese astrology, and I have definitely been feeling this myself. Like, I can't believe that it's already almost August. And honestly, it feels like it's about to be Christmas, but it feels that way to me because I feel like we never actually left Christmas 2025. And I feel like the way in which the time is moving is this time last year. I feel like time was actually moving slower, and my physical body and my brain, there's a general consensus and perception within my physical body that it actually should still be December 2025. It should still be slow moving, but time is moving so fast and I feel like my physical body can't catch up. And so that's why it feels like it's supposed to be Christmas, but like Christmas in the past, not Christmas coming up. Does this make sense? If you're still with me, then this podcast is definitely for you. In today's episode, I'm going to share some hard truths about my own awakening process in the hopes that it will help you to get through whatever you're going through. I feel like there's so many people coming online right now in the spiritual community, which is amazing. We need more and more people. We need numbers. We need people awakening. We need people stepping into their authentic light and not being afraid to share their truth. And at the same time, I feel like there is an overwhelm of information. There is not a lot of discernment going on. There's a lot of chaos, confusion in the spiritual community, and not a lot of people genuinely know where to turn when they do start awakening. Not to mention that when you start going down this path, there's lots of people who will teach you different spiritual concepts, how to transition from 3D into 5D, or alien contact tips, which is one of my specialties, or how to spot a reptilian. But there's not many people, at least none that I have seen, but I also don't really consume a lot of social media. I haven't seen too many people explaining their own process of how they have integrated their awakening into their everyday normal life. Not only that, but take it a step forward in how they've been able to authentically express themselves in their newly awakened and evolved way. You may know a lot about aliens or about consciousness, but if you don't know how to tell your husband that you believe in aliens, or you feel uncomfortable and shamed by your religious family with regard to witchcraft that you like to partake in, then awakening can be really, really lonesome. Let me share a quick story here about something behind the scenes that I don't know if I think I did post a video about this one time, but it's always good to say it on the podcast too, in case you don't follow me on other social media, which, by the way, you can find me at Coming Out Cosmic on all social media platforms. Now, most of you know my channeling story, how it started, where it was going, where I've ended up now, and it's been a really beautiful journey. Wait, let me rephrase that. Now I'm feeling like one of those generic spiritual teachers. It's been such a beautiful love and light journey. I lied. Do you see how we're so programmed to say this shit? I had to catch myself. Oh my God, that was not an authentic expression of myself. I apologize. It has not been a beautiful journey. Let's be honest. It's been fucking crazy. Been a wild ride, guys. I've suffered so many different identity shifts and ego deaths and emotions and highs and lows. And let's not forget, during this entire process, I have either been pregnant or postpartum. I started Coming Out Cosmic I officially started launching everything in August 2024, went public in November 2024, just a couple months before that, in June 2024, I had my son Brody. And so I have just been all over the place in terms of awakening and motherhood and all of the above. And so I share all this with you because I want for you to know that even if you are going through something in your lifetime right now that is very major, such as a pregnancy or postpartum or whatever the case may be, you can still authentically live an awakening that is comfortable within your life. But I just wish that I had somebody to guide me throughout all of this. I wish I had some sort of roadmap. You know, watch out for this, or this is a better way to integrate this, et cetera, instead of constantly trying to consume information and go down rabbit holes and finding people who are actually genuine. I feel like there are a lot of people just generally, and I'm not trying to call out the spiritual community, but you know, that's the part that I would mostly resonate with. Oh, Maya just dropped my book. Okay. But anyway, that's the community that I mostly resonate with. And so I have found that there are still people who are afraid to fully embody and express their authentic awakened self. And so that was another hindrance to my journey of finding somebody that I could actually trust, not somebody that was just inauthentic. Let's put it that way. And one of my core memories of a difficult experience in my awakening is when I first started live channeling extraterrestrials on TikTok. Now, TikTok is where I actually started everything, because back in the day, back in 2024, it was the place for the crazy people. I feel like it was much more open. People were open-minded on TikTok. You could pretty much get away with a lot of stuff on TikTok. Now you really can't. Like, anytime that I post anything about reptilians, TikTok will shut down that video. They didn't in the past. And so if you are looking for full playlists of information about reptilians, or I also have full playlists about alien contact tips. I think I've got 75 reptilian videos and 30-ish alien contact videos. Then you can find all that information on TikTok. I'm not actually reposting a lot of those videos on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube because it's not really my vibe anymore. It's not that talking about reptilians, for example, is a bad thing, because there's good and bad in all species. I think it's great to get the information out there. But I feel like at the time that I was posting all those videos, I was not channeling yet. And so I share a lot of alien visitations as well on my TikTok. So go ahead and check it out. That's at Coming Out Cosmic on TikTok. I also go live on TikTok more. Every other week, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, I go live with my dad for Alien Talks with Dad, and we talk about aliens. Yay, okay, no, stop taking the mic. Here. I don't know what just happened to my sweet little baby girl, but everyone, she is exhibiting characteristics of a dramatic princess. I don't know where she gets this. She definitely does not get the drama from her mama. Chris would probably disagree. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, TikTok Live. One of the most haunting memories that I have in awakening. I had literally just started channeling. I feel like I had just started channeling about a couple weeks before I went on TikTok Live to show my following the new ability that I had just uncovered and activated through my mentor, Rebecca Weidenhoff, who is an incredible human being. She offers a lot of different services, and I swear to you that she activated channeling within me, as we all can activate stuff within each other. I also had a really intense vision with my guides at one time during a breathwork session, and my guides had handed me the gift of activating channeling within others as well when they are ready. So I just say this to note that it's all very possible for you to start channeling when and if you're ready. Of course, I'm not guaranteeing anything by being in my presence or working with me, but just know that this is possible because this is the exact way that it happened to me. So anyway, I went on TikTok Live and I started channeling, and I got a lot of mixed reviews because remember, up until that point, I was just known as the girl who gave alien contact tips, talked a lot about the reptilians, talked a lot about alien visitations. You can talk about all that kind of stuff, but once you step into the territory of actually channeling aliens, even those who believe your alien visitation stories, they may not believe in channeling whatsoever. So it's almost like my audience was divided. I remember specifically there was like this one comment that I got on live. And it was this one girl who's like, girl, I used to like your content, but now I'm not so sure. Okay, I had to go put Maya down. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, I have Palo Santo burning. So actually the video looks really cool right now. How freaking cool. Okay, anyway. So I knew that by going on TikTok live and sharing authentically an expression of my new psychic abilities that may or may not be accepted as truth or truthful to other people, I knew that I would be losing friends, followers, connections, and that was really scary. But that would be a loss on a micro scale, right? Like you lose some followers, you lose some connections with people that you don't really know, but you talk to here and there online. That would be micro compared to what I would consider something so much bigger when you think about the relationships that you could actually lose in real life. So after I did that TikTok live, it went really well. By the way, I was really proud of myself to step out there in public and actually do it, to channel live. I feel like I helped a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people got guidance and reassurance that they needed. And this is why I channel, because I genuinely want to help heal people, to bring peace to people, to give them information that's honestly really freaking cool to hear from a galactic perspective. I learn something new every time I channel. And a huge shout out to my friend Julie, who often moderates when I am channeling, because I am in trance meditation. I don't know what's going on for the most part. My consciousness is still kind of in my body, but not really. And so you need some sort of moderation when you do these things live. So to the core haunting memory of that experience, I remember after I ended that live, I sat in my bedroom for 30 minutes and I just cried because I knew that my life was about to fucking change. And there's a lot of terror in that. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of nerves. There's so many different emotions that come with it. But I would say primarily I was actually really terrified of what was going to come from this new gift, because I knew deep in my core that I am meant to share channeling with other people, whether it's in private sessions or eventually maybe teaching people how to channel, although that's not on my agenda, at least for this year, because I am still mastering my craft. I've got much that I can say about it, a lot that I can teach about it, but it's not my main offering, I would say. But when you feel that alignment to something that is so strange and scary and uncomfortable, and you know that you have to go for it. You just know. You're like, there's no going back. There's no holding back. I have to do this, because you feel compelled. You feel an alignment, an energetic agreement with that thing. And that thing for me was channeling. It's so scary because you don't know who's going to go along with you on that ride, who's also going to be in alignment in some capacity with you when it comes to that thing that you feel compelled to do. And this is where I feel really sad for some people, because there are some incredibly gifted people out there who they're not sure who's going to accept them or who's going to be along the ride. I'm really bad at idioms, guys. I don't even know if that's an idiom, but you know what I'm trying to say. They don't know who's actually going to be by their side. And so they just don't do the thing, and they're doing themselves such a disservice to suppress those gifts or to suppress their true authentic self, because the vibration of authenticity is the highest vibration in the universe. They say that love is the highest vibration. I actually talked to my mentor, Rebecca, about this, and we're both in agreement that authenticity is higher than love. Because think, you can have love, but if you don't express it in an authentic and genuine way, then it may not be as high vibrational as a step above that, which would be an authentic expression of love. Because authenticity is when you are in just true alignment with everything you've got going on in your life. You don't hold back. You're not rude about things unless that is within your personality and you authentically, genuinely feel the need to express in that way, and you've done a lot of shadow work behind it or whatever the case may be. But authenticity is the highest vibration that you can be in. So as I was sitting in my bedroom after 30 minutes of crying, I was like, well, shit, I better go talk to my husband. which God bless Chris, okay? Can we just get a God bless Chris from the peanut gallery right now? Because I don't know. I genuinely have no idea how he has dealt with all of this, with his wife being so public on social media. You know, that's one thing. Being public on social media talking about aliens, that's a little strange. That's another thing. But now being public on all social media platforms, at least the popular ones, not just talking about aliens, but purporting to channel aliens as I post videos of my body moving around with my eyes closed, talking in a weird cadence, saying and giving higher dimensional guidance online. Like, I feel like I should do a podcast episode with Chris to see like what his genuine thoughts and beliefs are about this, because I'm sure that he keeps some things from me just so that he doesn't hurt me, because obviously I face a lot of hate and a lot of trolling online simply because people aren't ready. They don't want to believe. They don't want for their perspectives to be changed. They are more comfortable in holding on to old beliefs that are actually no longer serving them. And eventually they're going to have to either expand their consciousness or just stay miserable in their limiting beliefs. So I go out to the living room and Chris is sitting on the couch and I sit down and he's like, "Hey." And I look at him and I just start crying. He's like, "What? What's wrong?" And I was like, "Please don't leave me." And I'm like crying and crying and crying. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but my husband is really funny. He's got a lot of dark humor to him. Do you know who Larry David is? Like inappropriately timed dry humor. That is my husband. Wait, let me tell you a quick joke that he said to me one time. Or actually, no, he didn't say this to me. He said this to a stranger. We were at a bar in Buffalo. This was years ago. Oh my God, RIP bars. Once you have 2 babies, whew, I don't know when you'll get to a bar again. And there was like a stranger that was walking behind Chris and just like said something to Chris because somebody brought a baby into the bar. And this stranger was just like generally like saying out loud or like saying to Chris. I don't really remember exactly who he was talking to, but he was like, "Oh my God." Hold on. The stranger was like, "Oh my God, who brings a baby to a bar?" And so my husband turns around and he's like, "Yeah, right. That's why we left our baby in the car." Which was a lie, because of course we didn't have a baby at the time, but I just thought that was this inappropriately timed humor, guys. So anyway, when I'm on the couch crying to my husband because I think he's going to leave me, he said something like, "Oh, Christine, you think that you're crazy now? You think I would leave you now after everything else that we've gone through?" Because, I mean, my first remembered alien visitation was in December 2023. And I remember I woke up and I was like, "Oh my God, I was visited by aliens." You know, why wouldn't he have left me then? That was before we had children too, by the way. But wait, now that I think about it, I was actually pregnant. So that would not have ended well for either of us. And so I share that story because even opening up and talking to my husband in that way and begging him not to leave me, I learned a lot of valuable lessons right then and there. I learned how to better integrate my awakening experiences and how to express my experiences authentically without fear. I'd say that overall I was fearful of the response of what my husband would give me, but I wasn't fearful of doing the thing. I wasn't fearful of going to my husband and having a talk, because at this point, like, he kind of knew that I was channeling. I don't really know if he knows what channeling truly is. I have not crossed that bridge of channeling for him or in front of him, because I think that it is still a little bit too strange for him. But he sees my Instagram videos where I am actively channeling, and he doesn't treat me any differently, but I don't push any of this on anybody. So that is one of the things that I have learned throughout my awakening. You absolutely cannot push shit on people. And that's hard because your ego is going to get involved. You're going to want to convince people of your awakening, of your truth, of what you're experiencing. So how can you talk to people and have respectful conversations about your awakening experiences without fear of their reaction and without trying to convince them and without getting your ego involved? This is something that I have become very good at. And this is something that I cannot wait to share with you all in a more intimate setting, because I have realized throughout my awakening journey that for me in particular, it would have been very helpful to have some sort of guidance or roadmap in terms of, I have awakened. Now what the fuck do I do? How do I live a normal life when I know what I know, when I've experienced what I've experienced, when I am becoming a completely different person, and society and my friends and family and my coworkers, even my pets, expect me to be the same past version of me, and I am no longer that? How do I carry on throughout this awakening? How do I live my normal life? And how am I able to express myself authentically in a comfortable way without fear? Guys, this is the coming out cosmic journey. Going from understanding your awakening, so understanding what's going on, understanding the strange and esoteric experiences where you're feeling confused and you're asking yourself, what is happening to me? Am I imagining this? How do I trust my intuition? How do I know the difference between my own thoughts versus a parasitic thought? Why am I suddenly experiencing all of these weird synchronicities? Is anyone else experiencing this too? Am I going crazy? Now, the understanding phase, I think, is quite difficult because this is where we find ourselves in loopholes. This is where we find ourselves going down rabbit holes and in cycles of consuming information, in fear mongering, and it is all to just satisfy the need to truly understand what's going on. But when you continue to awaken, you find out and you figure out that there really is no truth other than your own truth based on your own lived experiences and perspectives and your own unique energy. So the understand phase was a long one for me. That was a long one. Understanding what awakening is and how does reality work, and why won't people believe me? So then the next phase in awakening, as I see it, is the integration phase. So now that you understand everything, how do you live with that? This phase naturally includes so many heavy questions, like, how do I tell my friends and family without sounding crazy? I mean, I know that there's people who are even struggling with telling their friends and family that they believe in aliens. I had somebody in my school community, which is free, by the way, if you ever want to join. There is a paid membership tier if you wanted more access to different live events, but the general community is free and there's a lot of fun stuff in there. I do offer videos of free channelings, not free personal channelings, but general information that you might want to know, like who are the men in black and what happens after we die. These are all things that I have channeled, and all of that is in my free school community. And I had somebody post in there, hey guys, I came out cosmic to my family. Which, by the way, I love that they use the phrase come out cosmic, coming out cosmic, came out cosmic. That is so incredible for me. This is a movement, guys. We're all trying to come out cosmic here. And this person was saying how when they came out cosmic in the Facebook group chat, they were surprised at the amount of other family members who agreed with them, who also believed in aliens. So you would be so surprised. Once you start integrating your awakening into daily life, you'd be so surprised how many people are actually alongside you for the ride. But other questions that naturally come up in the integration phase would be, how do I balance this with work? How do I manage this with my family? How do I know when to share my beliefs versus when I should stay quiet? How do I stop feeling alone? And how do I stay grounded when all of this is happening? Because sometimes during awakening, your psychic abilities can explode to high heavens. And there are people who are channeling and they're very ungrounded, and once they come down from the high of channeling, they enter normal everyday 3D life because, you know, we oscillate between the different dimensions of being in the high dimensions, especially if you are an open channel, and being into the 3D dimension because, you know, this is where our physical body resides. There's a lot of people who are ungrounded, and this actually causes a lot of physical health problems and ailments. And I see this a lot within my clients. I see that actually, I'd say the majority, okay, I'm telepathically connecting with my guides right now, and they're saying probably about 40% of my clients, so less than half, but still a significant amount. 40% of my clients that I've worked with up until this point have had their energetic body outside of their physical body and not completely grounded, which I guess that's a funny way to say it, because of course, like, you've got different layers and energy bodies that are not necessarily within the physical vessel. But the way in which it's been explained to me is that there are certain energy fields and energetic bodies that should be pretty well integrated with the physical body. And if it's not, and if you're hanging outside your body all the time, then you're not well grounded. And this would actually be this is actually what I do when I go in trance meditation. My consciousness is outside of my body. So imagine being like that all of the time, or at least a little bit like that all the time. It could really cause a lot of taxing on the body. So once you start integrating your awakening within daily life, this is more of a personal thing. You know, you're trying to figure out daily, like, how am I going to live this new life? How am I going to continue working in a job that no longer feels aligned because of what I know? For example, I have a lot of people in the medical field as clients who are like, I need to get out because I am not in alignment with the medical field. How do I get out of this? Like, I just know too much of the nefarious activity that happens within these fields, which, by the way, I think we're getting better collectively. I think that we're growing out of old systems. So I do see a lot of hope for the medical field. But if this resonates and you're starting to integrate your own thoughts and beliefs and you're starting to make a game plan for change, this would be part of the integration phase. Now, the next phase would be to express. How do you authentically express your newly awakened self? Because you're literally a new version of you. You are literally a new version of you. Your DNA has changed. When you activate certain abilities within, and I'm not saying that everybody's awakening is one in which you activate certain abilities, but I think that you expand your consciousness when you are on an awakening path. So whether it's an expansion of consciousness, it's an activation of DNA, whatever it is, however you feel as though you are expanding in new ways, your perspective is changing in new ways, how are you then going to start to express yourself? Because you're literally a new person. Are you the same person you were in 5th grade as you are right now? You have the same physical body-ish, but your consciousness isn't the same. You wouldn't dress the same. You wouldn't make the same life choices. Your consciousness has upgraded and up-leveled. You don't talk to the same people. You wouldn't approach the same people with the same type of conversation style. This is how I look at awakening in consciousness. And this is how I view other people too, like other people who are on an awakening path and yet they don't really understand. I would never look at them as less than. I would just look at them as different grade levels. 5th grade is no better than 3rd grade, which is no better than kindergarten. We're all just in different phases and stages. But when you reach a new grade level, how are you going to authentically express yourself without being fearful of what other students are going to think about you? Because think, you're going to have students judging you from all different levels of grades and all different lived experiences. Are you still going to feel comfortable enough to express yourself authentically and to express your thoughts and beliefs in an authentic and genuine manner? Or are you going to shop the back to school sale at Target and buy all of the same clothing and adopt all the same beliefs as the other students at school just because that's the norm? I was one of those students. I'm not going to lie. If we're doing comparisons with when we were in school versus now in the awakening, I was one of those students. I was a people pleaser. I wanted to be accepted. I'm an Enneagram type 3. I followed societal norms. It wasn't until COVID where I completely disregarded societal norms. Did not give a shit. By the way, I apologize for swearing so much in this podcast episode. So when you are in that express stage, phase 3 of awakening, in my eyes, this is where you stop surviving your awakening, you stop hiding your awakening, and you start owning it and living it. And in this phase, you begin to ask yourself, well, how do I stop worrying about what people think about me? How do I trust myself enough to share my gifts when I'm not even sure if what I'm activating or tapping into is real? because society tells me it's not? What if people judge me? What if I lose relationships? And how do I live authentically without apologizing for who I am? These are the phases of awakening, understand, integrate, and express that I wish I had more guidance on as I was navigating my awakening. From everyday normal Christine, living that 9-to-5 life, people pleasing, listening to rules and being accepted by society, to, oh, I'm going to go completely rogue here and I'm going to publicly put myself out there and channel aliens. You don't need to know how to channel aliens. You don't need to know how to activate your psychic abilities. You need to know how to integrate the knowledge and experiences that you've already gone through. You need to know how to authentically express yourself to your friends and family and to your loved ones with regard to those experiences and who you are becoming today. You don't need to learn how to astral travel or which ET species are visiting you when you are finding it difficult to tell your own mother that your consciousness has evolved, that your thoughts and beliefs have changed, that you don't want to go to that baptism because you don't believe in it. Short story here, my nephew was just baptized, and obviously my whole family knows what I'm doing on social media. I come from a Catholic family, although I would say my immediate family is not necessarily practicing other than this baptism that my sister-in-law and brother just did. My extended family is still very religious. I actually don't know if they found me online yet. God, I hope not. But whatever if they did. So we're at the church, we're at the baptism, and my sister turns to me and she's like, how come you're not burning up in flames right now? And so me, I'm like, yeah, you know what? It is pretty hot in here. Like, they need to get AC. And she was like, no, like, because of what you do, how come you're not burning up as though you're in hell right now? And so taking a situation like that, how did I respond? How did I react? What is the dynamic between me and my sister right now? Because we used to be very close, and I'll tell you, we're not that close anymore since I started channeling, because she does not believe in what I'm doing. In fact, her and my brother-in-law, I think that they both probably, no, I know that they both think that I'm batshit crazy. So how am I able to live with that and to accept that? And honestly, I am getting a little bit emotional and choked up here about that, because it's hard. It's really hard, because on this awakening path, when you are living in authentic alignment to your own truth, your relationships are going to change. Your life is going to change in so many ways that you couldn't even imagine. And I just wish that in those moments I had guidance and I did not feel so alone. Oh my God, this is why I say that normally I don't wear mascara ever, because when I'm channeling, it makes me look like I have raccoon eyes, but I was not anticipating getting emotional here. I swear to God, I better not be pregnant. I swear to God. Guys, I have been seeing ladybugs lately. I swear to God. Pray for me. Send prayers. Send prayers. For those who don't know, ladybugs are my sign for spirit babies. It could just be that a spirit baby on the other side is saying hi, because I've got 2 babies now. I would love to have another one. But anyway, I share all of this today because I've already alluded to the fact that I paused my one-on-ones. Well, I paused booking my one-on-ones because I'm still finishing them out for the remainder of this week. But I paused that to create a much more intimate experience for those who are truly feeling called and who are in true need and resonance of having some sort of guide who can help them walk from understanding, integrating, and expressing their true authentic self within their awakening. And this is why on Saturday, August 1st, 2026, because I'm not sure what year you're listening to this in, I am launching my first ever intimate group mentorship. It's called the Coming Out Cosmic Mentorship, and it's following the Coming Out Cosmic 3-phase journey of understand, integrate, and express your authentic self during your awakening without fear, without self-doubt, without me telling you what to do or what to believe, but me leading you through my own lived experience of having walked this path in a very public manner and with channeled galactic perspective and advice when needed and when necessary. So this will be the founding cohort. This is the first time I'm doing a group mentorship. There are only 11 seats because I want for this to be a close-knit community of people, again, who are feeling really called to receive some sort of mentorship during this awakening time. This is a 6-week live group mentorship starting on August 20th, ending on September 24th. The sessions will be hosted on Thursdays, so August 20th and September 24th, that is a Thursday, from 7 p.m. Eastern until 8:30 p.m. Eastern. These are 90-minute sessions, a live interactive call with me, and again, 11 total participants. Again, this is a live mentorship. There's no pre-recorded content or a curriculum or homework that you have to follow, just raw conversations, hot seat coaching, Q&A, with me, a small group of people, and galactic advice and perspectives when needed. It is such a small cohort because I do want everyone to get personalized attention, and I want for them to have the space to ask questions that maybe this is the first time in their life they're actually asking another human being these awakening questions that will help them to navigate their awakening so they don't feel so alone. This cohort will be held in school. So again, I do have a free school community, but for those who join this cohort, there's going to be a separate tier for them that will give them access to a specific classroom in school that will hold all of the live call recordings and any resources that we talk about or anything that I do want to put in the classroom. This is a really special offer because I really want to hear you and to listen to you and to give you different advice, not just from my consciousness, but from the galactic perspective as well. And I'm hoping that this cohort will help me to design something much bigger that will be much more accessible to a lot of people on a bigger scale. So coming from this cohort will be another program on top of that, which will be in development. But I'm using this cohort as an opportunity to thoroughly understand your struggles so that I can then create something else for more people that will be even more helpful for them on their awakening journey. I don't anticipate ever having something so intimate like this again. And so that's why if you're feeling really called to receive guidance or mentorship at this time with me and with a small group of people, I would say definitely check out the offer, because once the 11 seats fill, I'm not going to be opening up more seats within that cohort. And I also do want to reiterate that the channeled galactic advice is always welcomed when it is needed. You know, I love channeling. I love channeling the Lyrians and the Arcturians and Andromedans and Syrians. And I was actually just talking to somebody who is a channel herself, and she was like, wow, do you channel a lot of different groups of beings? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, wow. She's like, that's not very typical. Like, you hear of people who just channel like one group or one entity, like Daryl Anka and Bashar, or there's JP Herman and Vagrain. So there's typically people who stick with one group, one collective, one individual entity maybe. But for me, I did actually think it was a little bit weird why all these aliens were coming to me. And it was just so nice and confirming to hear from somebody else like, oh, yes, you are meant to be I guess I'll call it a multi-species channel. And she's like, you have a huge protection sigil on your energy, on your energetic signature, in your field. I forgot exactly how she put it. But she's like, yeah, okay, you're good to go. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep channeling the galactics. There's a whole line of them waiting to talk to you. I'm like, great, great. Can I please go back to the integration phase now? I can't be expressing all this so publicly anymore. I need help. So even though we do welcome the channeled guidance, I want for you to understand that this is different from the cosmic channel in the Skool membership, which is part of the premium membership, where it's a live group Q&A where I am in trance meditation for about 60 to 90 minutes. And that live event is moderated and facilitated by my friend Julie, who helps to navigate the questions that are coming my way as I am in trance meditation. That is different from this mentorship, because this mentorship is going to be mostly facilitated by my consciousness, by me, Christine, and pulling in channeled advice when necessary and when needed. And that is because me, Christine the human, I'm the one who's experienced awakening in this human form. The galactics have not. They don't know what it's like to be me. They don't know what it's like to be you. They don't know how freaking hard this is. Actually, let me say something here. I often have clients who are having a very difficult time with awakening, and the advice that the galactics generally give them through my channel is, wow, you're doing an incredible job, and we would never want to be in your shoes. This is why you volunteered and nobody else in your ET soul group volunteered, and we're here to support you on the other side. So that is why this is mostly led by me, and it allows for me to have more energy to be able to support you if I'm not in constant trance meditation throughout the entire mentorship. Now, for those who are interested in the constant trance meditation where you're purely just talking to the galactics, again, that is part of my premium Skool membership. It is called the Cosmic Channel. Every second of the month, I offer the live Q&A with the ETs. The time changes just because we are a global audience and I like to be able to reach as many people as I can. But if you're interested in the premium membership, it doesn't just include the Cosmic Channel, but it also includes live activation classes where I bring on other people who are activators themselves, but also channels or sound healers or experts in a certain spiritual topic. I bring them on into my Skool community, and you get to also enjoy at least one activation class a month as well. So it's 2 live events within the Skool Premium membership. And the Skool Premium membership is meant to be a monthly support through live events, but it is not as intimate as this 6-week mentorship. You do not get personalized spiritual guidance in the way that you would with this mentorship, because this mentorship allows for deeper conversations and consistent support over 6 weeks. And I bet you might find some pretty good friends. Yeah, I bet the people, this is my intention. My intention is that the people who sign up for this mentorship are cool like me. My intention for the people who sign up for this membership is that they find parts of their soul tribe. I would love to make connections with people in this way, because you might have some soul family member in human form from Utah and you're from Florida and you join this mentorship and then you guys are best friends forever. I don't know. I cannot wait to make these genuine, authentic connections where we can all just understand awakening, integrate it within our daily life, and just express our normal selves without fear of judgment. Now, remember, guys, you do not have to navigate this awakening alone. There are people who understand you. There are people who are willing to support you. I am more than happy to help you on this journey if you feel called to have a mentorship by me. I am going to post more information about the Coming Out Cosmic mentorship in the show notes, because you don't need more information. You don't need another rabbit hole to go down. You need a path forward that's going to help you feel more comfortable and authentic within your awakening journey. All right, guys, and you know that the latest and greatest updates are always posted in Skool first. So although the mentorship will be publicly announced and launched on the 1st, people in Skool are going to get to it first. So I hope to see you guys in there. And until next time, bye. I feel like I sounded like that witch from Hocus Pocus when she's about to die because the sun is coming out and she turns to stone and she's like, bye-bye.